How's everyone doing today? My name is Flavio, and you guys are here at the House of Collectibles. Thank you for dropping by on the channel. We would always love to have you. If you guys are new to the channel, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and hit the bell notification icon so you guys are up to date on all future content. If you guys are dropping by again and have already been here before, thank you for the support. And it's always awesome to see you guys coming back. So we really appreciate it. And it really, really doesn't go unnoticed. Today, we have another amazing figure by Hot Toys. I'm very excited to get this guy out and into the collection. Finally, even though the source material wasn't the greatest, and I think we can all agree on that, I think that should not reflect how great the figure is. Hot Toys did an amazing job executing this figure, and we're going to take a closer look at that here as we go. And it is none other than Michael Keaton reprising the role of Batman from the 89 Batman movie that we've seen years and years ago. Michael Keaton, I think, is the ultimate Batman for me. And it was just amazing to see, like I said, him reprise his role with that amazing, yellow and black logo that he wears so proudly on his chest. Guys, Michael Keaton, his parts in the movie, I liked. I liked seeing him in the suit. I appreciated what they did, with the time that we had him in the film. Granted, again, my personal take, I don't think it was a good movie, but it was awesome to see nonetheless. So, Hot Toys replicated that here with the modern suit Batman, is what they're calling it. But this is kind of like, what the suit would have looked like after returns. You know what I mean? That's kind of what I'm taking it as. So this is none other than MMS 712, 1/6 scale collectible figure by Hot Toys. Again, this is the modern suit Batman from the Flash movie. And guys, the box art, all of that is just so cool. I love how colorful it looks. I love, all the pops of colors that we get from the art box. It's not, always that we get a flashy box from Hot Toys. And I love how that we just have, the image of Michael Keaton, in the suit front and center. And we kind of have these, lightning effects all around the box. I just really love the pop of yellow. It really works for me as well with the, Batman logo there as well. So very, very cool. I don't want to waste any more time here. So let's get this figure out once and for all. So, like I mentioned before here, very quickly, I don't want to go too in depth here with the box art, but as you guys can see here, front and center, we do have an image of Michael Keaton, and I think this is an actual photo of Michael Keaton in the suit. I don't believe this is the actual figure. Just the face and the eyes don't look like the figure to me. I could be wrong. Let me know down below. But overall, I like in the background here, as you can see, you have kind of like this kind of like sonar pulsating effect. You have the beautiful yellow colorway for the whole entire box. And I love how it's almost like lightning, but then you kind of have this like ray of light beaming down onto Batman as he is like the savior of this whole movie, which I feel like he kind of was for me. But down below, you have the movie title, DC The Flash. Down below as well, you have Batman in a nice silver foil font. And as well, MMS 712, 1/6 scale collectible figure. On the side, once again, nothing crazy. Again, you have Batman and the edition number. And on the other side as well, Batman. And up top, same exact thing. Down below, same thing. But I do like how they have the movie title down below as well, with a nice big font. On the back, nothing crazy, just the whodunit. And just very quickly, I just wanted to go over the inner box here. Nothing crazy, but you do have a very nice big window here that you can see the figure and all of the accessories. So I really, really like that. Very, very cool. I love the attention to details here too, as well with the Batman logo. It really ties in the color scheme with the black and yellow. I love it. Can't get enough of it. But yeah, down below here, you guys can see it says DC The Flash with the movie title. So I really, really like the way that that looks. And I just am going to keep admiring the side of the box here with the colorway. I'm just a really big fan. I think they did a great job with the colors. But nonetheless, here you got Batman and you have the Batman symbol right here in the middle and the bottom reading MMS 712. So very cool. And here it is. Here is the back of the box, guys. And this was actually the whole reason for me showing you guys the inner box. I'm just a real big fan of the artwork. You guys have the modern suit Michael Keaton Batman front and center on the back. But hear me out. I think that this image on the back here is the actual figure itself compared to the slipcover that we seen on the front of the box. That was an art rendering of Michael Keaton in the suit. I believe because of the cowl here, as you can see, I think this is the actual figure. So it's kind of cool the choice that they made to keep that on the inside of the box, but nonetheless, I love the artwork. All right, and now we are going to take the figure out of the clamshell as we remove the top there, get this little piece of plastic out of the way. And if you're not aware, Hot Toys figures with capes, they come fished through the back of the clamshell. So just be careful when you're pulling your Batman figure out. It's going to be a little bit hard on camera. Can I get it? Yes, here we go. We got him. And first impressions, guys, is wow. Um, First thing for me is just the feel, but this figure, the look of it just looks amazing. I can't wait to see what's in store. So let's put him back in there, take everything out of the box, and see what we got. All right, guys, and now we are going to take a look at all of the accessories that you get with your modern suit Batman, starting off with the base here. And it is a very cool base. I like it. It has the nameplate up front with Batman modern suit, and it's done in metal, I believe. And it has all this detail work on the front with metal work and rivets. Um, Up top, you have the Batman logo as well, but it's a pretty tall base, so that's one thing to pay attention to. Other than that, though, it looks really, really cool. I like the Batman logo up top, front and center, with the yellow background, which it has light up feature, so that is what lights up. You have detail work all around the edge of it. Very, very cool. It looks like grates and whatnot. And not a fan of this. It is a waist clamp. Not a fan of that with this figure. I mean, I understand why they do it for the flight pose, but not a fan. But all the way around, you got all that yellow too, and that's what lights up. And this is where it plugs in here. You can see the USB port, but very cheap, flimsy. Other than that, it's a cool base, but it seems very cheap for what it is. So take that with what you will. Moving on, we have four extra hands that come in the box. It's not including the two. He's comes with fists on his hands, so you get those. But you got four different pairs here. Well, not pairs. You got left and right hands to choose from, but they look very, very cool. The detail looks very, very nice. I love the texture for the glove. You got all that pattern and stitching, and you even have the plates on the back for his hand. So, very cool. I like the way that that looks. And the gloves look very awesome, man. I like the little callback there for the 89 with the kind of like silver studs that he had on the inside of his glove. He has those too, so I really like that. But, anyways, moving on here. Now we are going to take a look at the extra mouth plates that you get for the cowl. You get two other ones, and he comes with a just a smirking pose, I think, for the one that comes in the cow. But this one looks very cool. It has that serious look. It has that kind of like skin texture to it. I love the lip too for Keaton. It has kind of like that lip pose that he's known for. So very cool. I'm seeing the likeness just holding it like that. So I can't wait to see how it looks in the cow. This one, I don't really know if I'm gonna use. It has the open mouth expression. The detail is all there again. It looks very realistic. All the skin texture, you can kind of see some teeth poking through as well. So I really, really like that. Um, but I just don't know if I'm going to end up using this. You can see the magnetic function there as well. So very cool. And I like that they give you different options to choose from. And now we are going to take a look at the Batmobile remote. And I don't think this was used in the movie, but as you guys can see here, it's if you guys had the 89 one, sorry, I'm trying to get it in focus here. It's so dang small, but you can see that it has like a little bat logo there as well, a little like silver detail as well there, and there's like a little red um button there on the side as well. But yeah, I don't think he ever used this in the Flash movie, but it's cool that they added that um as well because, Batman would have that for his Batmobile, so why not? You know? But anyways, moving on, we get two Batarangs here, and these look very cool. I love the shape of them. Look like a little bat logo too as well, like an actual bat. So I really like that. I love the design of these things. Um, I love the silver detail there on the ends as well, kind of for the hooks. But these always reminded me of like boomerangs, you know? So really love that. Can't complain. And now we have the Batarang on the wire as well. So same thing as the other ones, but this one is like kind of like he's gonna throw it, but he's gonna bring you back when he gets a hold of you. It has an actual metal ring there as well, and the cord feels pretty sturdy. So very cool there. Next, we have Batman's grapnel gun, and this I do believe is the same exact sculpt that you get with the Michael Keaton 89 Batman. You can see that you flip down that piece right there. It is pretty loose just because of the mold degradation, as we seen from the previous 2.0 or reissue of the 89 Batman. The There are no movable pieces. I don't think that you can remove it, and there is no magnet to be able to place it on Batman's belt. So it does have to be held by hand. That is just something that you guys need to know. Next, you do have two Batman Ninja Stars or Shuriken here, and you can have him throwing these if you want or holding them. I love the paint job. I love the gold for the center there, and you have a nice silver paint job for the blades. It is a very small piece, but you do get two. I probably won't be using these as well, but it's cool that they added them. And next we have here is one of the pouches that Batman has on his belts. And it's pretty cool because it's sculpted like if it was opened up. And the reason for that is because of this accessory here. This is like a small back computer, something you say, and it is done very nicely. It has a keypad on there with a little black screen. The details on it is very, very nice. Um, so he would have popped this out of that canister, as you guys can see there on the side. It's slipped out from there. So you see that the top part is flipped open and then he pops it out and then he has this little computer in there. So they kind of give you the before and after accessory here. I think it's pretty cool. Very small accessories. Not sure if I'll really use them, but I do like the addition to this release. Next, here we have another small accessory here, and this is a screen that reads level 11, and this is magnetically attached and it goes onto his forearm gauntlet. This was for the scene. It was kind of funny when the Batman is trying to send up the Flash up onto the elevator, and he's like, how much do you weigh? He's measuring stuff and this and that. And then he types a bunch of stuff in and he just says level 11 and sends him off. So that's very cool. And I like that as well. Next, here we also have a bat bomb, I guess you could say, or some type of bomb or explosive device. Um, this you would have gotten as well with your Michael Keaton 89 Batman. I do love all the details on it. You guys can see all the zeros and the wires and stuff. So that's very cool there too. And here we have an other new accessory here with this Keaton Batman. This is the first edition exclusive. This is the empty cowl with display stand. So back then they said, this was the first edition exclusive. If you pre-ordered, you would get this. I do like this cowl because it seems like the sculpt is different from the actual head sculpt and it's a lot wider, and that makes sense because Batman's head is not slipped onto it. So you can have him holding this, um, looking at it, and have him displayed with the old man Keaton head sculpt, or you can just display it on that stand that you've seen before, which was pretty cool. But the sculpt work for this is amazing. You guys can see you have the Bat logo there as well, because it would not be on the suit technically if he was to take the cowl off. It is hollow there, so you guys can see there is no mouth plate there. Um, but here's the stand that you get. I have the Batman logo down below as well. Nice yellow and black color. And this is cool because you can just have it displayed on here next to your figure. If you don't want to display him holding it, you can have it next to it. This black piece here, I'm not too sure. Um, Comment down below if you guys know, but I tried to stick it into the empty cowl here, and that didn't work. I messed up here. I don't know why, but that didn't make sense anyways. I think that black piece is for the actual cowl that has the eyes in it, but I'm not sure why you would want to display that black piece covering, the mouth plates or in place of the mouth plates, because you're going to have the eyes in the cowl still. So very, very weird. But nonetheless, guys, those are the accessories. Let's see the figure. All right, guys, and taking a closer look at the modern suit Batman, as you guys can see here, he looks fantastic. And we're going to just try to segment the body off here from head sculpt, cowl, midsection, and, the lower half of the figure. But starting off here with the cowl, as you guys can see, there's no question here that this is Michael Keaton. I love the fact that the design for the character in the Flash movie is truly an advancement from the 89 and return suit. As you guys can see here, it is just fully sleek and updated from those previous movies that we've seen him in. Starting off here with the cowl, it's much more thinner. It's, shaped a lot thinner compared to the 89 and returns cowl. I love the pointy ears here. These are made of a soft PVC, so they shouldn't break on you at all. You can see the furrowed brow here that's baked into the cowl as well. So I really love the way that looks. That looks very, angry and has a very sharp look to it. And, in there as well, you can see within the cowl, you can see Michael Keaton's eyes, but I love the fact that there is depth to it, and you can actually also see, the dark eye makeup that's painted around Michael Keaton's eyes. So that is just amazing to me. I love as well, you know, the sculpt here for the lower part of the eyes, and then it points down to the nose. This thing just looks amazing, guys. And then also, if you turn to the side here, you guys have kind of like these techie panel lines here around his neck and the collarbone that just really work for me as well under here around the neck. And it just looks so good from every angle, guys. I'm going to give it a little 360 here. And you can see the techie panel lines, like I was saying there, nice and smooth on the back side. But even from behind, it looks realistic. I love this little indentation here, almost like for his neck and the back of his neck there. It's just those little subtle attention to details that Hot Toys throws in to their figures that just really, really makes them pop. You have the mouth plate here. I am going to leave this default as well for the video. I'm not going to switch out the mouthpieces. You do get two other ones, but for me, the one that I really want to use is that smirking one, and that's kind of just like that, you know, iconic part in the movie where he's like, you know, let's get nuts, kind of just reprising that original, you know, quote that he had in the movie from, you know, 89. But tons and tons of detail here. As you guys can see, there's a lot of skin texture all over for the figure, and he even has a little bit of a 5 o'clock shadow as well for the you know, mustache right above. He's freshly shaven. You guys can see all the detail. You can see the little, you know, bits and wrinkles. And we know Hot Toys does an amazing job with older characters, and I think they really, really brought out the likeness here for Michael Keaton as well. You have those Keaton-esque lips there, and it just looks amazing. So I really want to go down here. Now we're going to look at the chest here, the chest armor. As you guys can see, he's wearing that classic logo front and center. The color just pops for me. I love the yellow and black. It just really works. It worked for the 89, and it works so much more here too as well for the modern suit Batman. The chest armor here, I do believe, is sculpted plastic. I think it is removable as well, because I think you have to remove this plastic here, the chest armor, to be able to put on the articulated cape that you also get with this. This is right now just the wired kind of wired. You can make it draped, but this is probably the cape that I also will be keeping on the figure, just because the other one will probably take up more space as well. And then you have a little drop down here for the abs here, and you got those techie panel lines that do continue down onto the suit. This right here seems to be more of the fabric, or kind of like that waxy, kind of like a patent leather, you would say, that the whole rest of the suit is you know, made up of. So the chest armor is sculpted plastic, but it drops down here, down into the midsection, and you guys can see there is a little squish and give to it. It probably has padding under the actual suit there, but you can see all the detail for the abs and all the tech work here. And it just really looks like, you know, Batman really perfected that original suit. And that's kind of what they wanted to show us here for, you know, this final suit here. Going down to his utility belt, I think it is free floating as well. It is. I kind of like to just mess around with it to get kind of like a meaner look. But you got all these, you know, various different canisters and capsules down here that make up the belt as well. Also on the back here, you got two other extra ones. The seam for the back, the final stitch, does look rather ugly to me now that we're on the back here, but no problem. It's going to be covered up with the cape. And now that we're at it as well, let's talk about the cape. The cape, like I said, is kind of that pleather material, but I will say it seems like a better grain of pleather, if that makes sense. It feels very supple to the touch. It does feel like it's going to be able to hold up a lot better maybe than previous pleathers that they used, but also, you know, take that with a grain of salt. You got to take into the account of the environment that you're in. If there's a ton of humidity, you know, you're constantly posing, distressing this out, it very well might flake on you over time, but I don't think it's going to be an overnight thing. The interior of the cape here, though, is done in a very nice, like, stretchy spandex fabric. So I really like that. As you guys can see, the pleats are all wired here as well. You guys can, you know, hold the pose there if you do. Mess around with it. I never, you know, had good luck with the wired capes. I just feel like I can never get them to sit properly. And going down here, down to the legs as well, as you guys can see, you got a ton of panel work here on the thighs on both sides, and coming down here to the knees as well. Very nice. I do believe these are on Velcro. I'm not going to take those off, but I do. Yep, they are on Velcro. You guys can see the Velcro right there behind that. And down here for the legs and the feet, they're done so good. The boots have a ton of leather grain sculpted texture within there, as you guys can see. And it almost looks like he has kind of these layered armor, like, you know, pieces on the front of his boot as well down here for his feet. The shoes have a ton of different, you know, leather grain texture as well. It is a split cut boot design, so even though it kind of has a nice, you know, one piece look up front, tons of articulation there side to side, so no problem with the boots for me. I'm really liking the way that looks as well. But yeah, guys, just all around, you know, the detail that they put into this, even on the back of the knees here, something that you would never see. The panel work all wraps around there as well. The gauntlets and the hands here look amazing as well, with kind of that layered armor-like effect there. And you can see the fins. The fins are way different compared to the 89 suit. These are kind of like straight edge blades almost, where the other ones were almost like shark fin, you know, very, very sharp blades, and they kind of curved, you know, a lot more. These are very cool. They're a lot thicker. I don't think you're going to have an issue with them breaking off. I know my 89, when it came right out of the box, the glue was loose, and, you know, one of the lowest fin just popped off. I did get that replaced later on, but, you know, these seem a lot stronger. And here as well, on the inside there, you got some detail there, you know, on the inside of the gauntlet, some more tech that he has embedded within the suit. But the hands as well, gloved, very nice, tons of detail. Guys, you cannot go wrong with this figure. I think if you're remotely close to a Michael Keaton or Batman 89 fan, this is something that, you know, just completes that. And if you want, you know, something like I did, where it was the before and end of, you know, the Keaton era, I think you need to do it to yourself to pick this figure up. But yeah, let's take a look at the articulation real quick as well, really quickly. All right, guys, and starting off with the articulation here for the Michael Keaton modern suit Batman, I don't believe there's any, if any, articulation here in the head. That is duly noted, because Michael Keaton never had articulation with his cowl, and he kept that for the Flash movie. He said it was a part of, you know, the 89 Batman style, and he wanted to keep that. So I don't think there's any articulation. You do have movable eyes though as well. But for the arms here, you guys can go up to about this far. I probably won't push it past that, because as you guys can see, there's a stitch under his armpit, and I just don't want that stitch to pop. So you can go to about there with that, moving to about there as well, kicking out forward until the suit starts to, you know, crease on itself. I don't think there is any back articulation that I'm seeing here, or if not, nope, I was wrong. Made myself a liar. It was very tight. He can go for about there as well. And he has obviously a butterfly joint, and you can hinge that up and down and swivel that forward and back. For the elbows here, it is a double bend. It is. Just be careful with the creasing in the suit, though. I probably wouldn't hold that pose for too long, as it would crease up the suit. And you have a regular hinge and swivel there for the hand. And also with that elbow, there is a pivot as well there in the elbow. So nothing crazy there, but his articulation's good, if you ask me. I have no complaints with that. I'm probably going to leave him in a museum pose, to be honest, kind of something like this, just because I do not want to risk the fact of possibly creasing the suit. As you can tell up there, like I said, the chest armor is sculpted, but you do have articulation down here in the lower waist. It's gonna make the suit very, very, you know, weird and crease up on itself. There is a couple clicks, but I like to keep it straight just because I don't want to mess. You see the pants there, how they kind of get all weird? So that's one thing to pay attention to. If you have him, I kind of want to have him standing tall and proud with his chest bumped out, because if you have any crease or, you know, articulation in the ab section, it's going to do that to the lower half of the figure, which I noticed that. You can kind of hide it too with the belt if you want something like that, but at the same time, you know, I'm going to just have him in a normal stance here. For the legs, you can kick him out probably to about there is probably where I would stop on nice clicky hard ratchets, as you guys can hear. And also he can go out for probably about that much, and it seems like his last one doesn't want to hold on very soft ratchets. And you guys can get the articulation here in the thigh. It does have a swivel in the thigh. And then also for the knees here, you guys have a nice amount of range for the knees here. Probably something that you will never use for a Batman, but it's very cool that, you know, they threw that in there as well. And like I said, double ball peg here for the boot, and it is a split cut boot design, so you guys can, you know, articulate it forward and back and side to side. Plenty of articulation there. But yeah, guys, nonetheless, like I said, this figure is amazing. I definitely would pick him up if I were you guys. If you guys are any fans of Batman or Michael Keaton, this is a must. The line, I probably would only have gotten this guy and, you know, the Flash. I only picked this figure up, and I'm kind of beating myself up about it now because I wish I got him, the Flash, and Supergirl. But overall, I don't think the movie did great, and this is the only character that was very memorable for me anyways. Let me know what you guys think about this figure down below. Please comment on the video if you guys picked up this figure and tell me what you guys think. But yeah, thank you guys for watching so much, and we'll catch you guys on the next